Welcome to another SolidWorks lesson. In the previous video, we created a sketch for Chisel head hammer, and we also learned tips and tricks around basic sketching. Today we will start from where we left off last time. So we'll use the same sketch and create the solid bodies for the hammer. Our sketch is ready and it's fully defined. To create solids, let's go into the Features tab. As you can see, all solid functions are here. We'll select Extrude. If you see the message for plane selection, just go ahead, click on the sketch anywhere. In the Boss Extrude menu on the left here, we'll enter the length of our solid, 1.125, and we have our extrude boss for the length we needed. Okay, I'll say OK. There we have it. You can turn around dynamically by your scroll wheel on the mouse by pressing it down, holding it, and then going around. Okay. Next, we're going to create chamfers around all the edges. For that, we'll explore that fillet drop-down menu and select chamfer. Now again here on the left, it's asking us where we want the chamfers on. So if I select this window, and then basically we can go ahead, select any of the edges. See, if I go on the edge, it highlights it, and it will select that edge for the chamfer. But we want actually all the edges on this face, right? So I'll rather select this face. Now what it will do, it will put the chamfers on all the edges. Similarly, I'll go around and select the other face, the face behind, and select this smaller face here. So all these faces, we wanted to have the same chamfer. Okay, so we have selected these three faces. Now we'll go ahead and enter the value of the chamfers. So the chamfer is 0.031, and the angle is 45 degrees. That's what we wanted to have it on. Okay, once we are satisfied, we will go ahead and say OK. As you can see, we have chamfers around all the edges. Next, we want to create the hole for the handle. For that, we will go back to sketch one more time, and let's create a straight slot. Asking us the plane. For that, we'll just select this face because that's where we wanted to create the slot. And now we'll just create a random slot, and then we'll put some dimension on. So now this is the axis of the slot, so make sure it's horizontal. So let's create there. Created the slot. Now asking for the width. Width of the slot is 0.56. Doesn't look right. Let's try entering it here again. 0.56. One thing we need to correct is that, as you see here, we are on the option of center to center distance. but the dimension we have is end to end. So I'll select this option and then enter the length we need, 0.822. Okay, so that's the shape, more like it what we want to create. Let's say OK. Now let's establish the position of the slot. So we'll go into Smart Dimension. So from this face to the point here, this dimension as per our drawing is 1.75, and the dimension from this face to the center of the slot basically is the center of the hammer, which is our hammer width is 1.125 divided by 2. Enter. That's in the middle of the hammer. So now that both positions are established, I'll say OK. As you can see, we have entered all the needed information, but the sketch is still underdefined. It's showing below here. The reason for that is we entered the width and the length of the slot, but the software is looking for the radius and the dimension for the other point. Uh, I mean, we can leave it as it is. We can leave it underdefined and it will work for us. But if we wanted to define it, then we can just enter a couple more dimension. It should be fine. Let's do that. So go in Smart Dimension and I'll enter the radius. I'll just leave it whatever it is because that's coming from the width of the slot. So we'll just say OK. As you see now, that side is defined. Now it's also asking for the dimension here. Yeah, that's coming from the length of the slot. So we'll just say OK. All right, so that will define the sketch fully. Now we can see the sketch is fully black and it's saying fully defined. Now let's go ahead, use that sketch to create that oval hole. Okay, let's end the sketch. Another trick, if we wanted to see the solid in different views, you can just explore this view orientation here. We would see all the options here. So if you wanted to see isometric, I'll click ISO. You can also actually dock this window here and then just use it for different options, different view options. To dock it, you need to actually press the pin button. So now it will stay there. Now we can look our solid from different views, from side, front, back side, top, and isometric. So we'll keep it in isometric so that we can see what's happening. Okay, I'll close that window for now. So we'll use that sketch, the slot, to extrude cut the hole in the hammer, the solid body. Right, so let's go into features again. Remember, all our solid features are inside the feature tab. So while we are in feature, we'll see there's an extruded cut. So because this time we are not creating solid, rather we are cutting it. So go there, and that entity or that sketch is already selected. So again, we're gonna enter some information here. Uh, because we wanted to cut the hammer all the way through. So I'll just change this option here from blind. I'll change it to through all. Okay, now we have a hole. So if I again use my scroll wheel to scroll it around, you can see the hole here from both sides. You can see. The last thing left in this solid is to create the angle on this edge on the entrance. So for that, we will go in features again, and we will use the same chamfer command, the chamfer option. And yeah, this time we don't want to create a chamfer on all the edges of this face. So rather, I'll just select that edge because that's the only edge we wanted to create for that sketch. So that edge is selected, the sketch is selected. This time the angle here, in the drawing, the angle is 70. If we look at from the 90-degree side, it will be basically 90 degree minus 7, comes down to 83 degree. And the amount of chamfer is 0.031. Yeah, that's all we need to enter, and then we'll say okay. Now it created that lead angle at the entrance. Now, if you want to see that more clearly, we can actually switch this here to a wireframe. And now when we look at the front view, you can clearly see the angle here. All right. In the next clip, we will look at how to create drawings from this solid. All right. See you in the next one.